So to just uh, we'll start again with what does data analytics really mean. Okay, so as we discussed, data analytics actually refers to the qualitative and the quantitative techniques which are used for processing the data and enhancing, you can say, the productivity and improving the business gains, and based on which you can say huge bigger decisions are made. And because all your decisions are based on the data, the past data, okay, you can come up with a better decision. That is what the data analytics can help us, especially in case of decision making. Okay, then data usually is extracted, and as I said, it is categorized to identify and analyze the behavioral pattern of the data. And there are various techniques which are available, various tools which are available that can help us do that. And accordingly, we can, depending on the requirement of the organization, they can analyze the pattern and come to some decision. And as I said last time also, the term data analytics is also known as data analysis. So it can be used interchangeably as well. Okay. Then if you look at the main okay, or the data analytics where it is primarily conducted, you will find that it is primarily, you can say, conducted more in a business to consumer type of applications, where lots of data is collected, especially the global organizations where huge data is processed. And this data needs to be analyzed, especially the data which is associated with customers and business processes, then even the market economics. And from that, the whole you can say analysis is done. So a huge you can say lot of data gets collected during this process. And data is also categorized, and as I said, they are stored and analyzed to study the customer behavior or the purchasing trend or patterns. Okay, so that was the initial you can say idea behind analyzing this huge data which was available. And for example, last time even I think I might have given it on a social networking website. The social networking websites, they usually collect data related to the user preferences, okay, the community interest and segment according to the specified criteria, like such as your demographic data, depending on the age, the gender. Okay, uh, and they use this data to properly analyze and come up with the your interest area, your preferences. Okay, and based on that, you might start getting ads, as I said, uh, or offers which are currently running in the market, or on different you can say websites, uh, which come even in your mails. You find that there is a mail which is dropped in, some offers which usually comes as an ad. Okay, and you can also react to those act. And once you react, let us say you are trying to close down a particular ad, uh, immediately you get a question. You need to give a feedback why you are trying to close that, whether it is relevant, irrelevant, whether it is you are not interested in that, and all that stuff. And that is how they take the feedback from you. And your data is getting accumulated, so that you get a personalized feeling of your own browser. So a browser which I'm using right now, if I open the browser and on the other machine some other person opens the same you can say website, you'll find that both of them are getting different types of news. So even nowadays you'll find that even news are fed to you depending on your interest. Okay, that so you might have observed that. I don't know how many of you have observed it, but definitely this is what is happening right now because of lots of data which is getting collected, and personalized, you can say, feeding has been done nowadays, whether it is ads regarding anything or whether it is even news nowadays. Okay, so that is how it is evolving. Now, coming to the new topic of today, especially today's topic, that is the evaluation of uh, analytics, you can say. So, how analytics evolved over a period of time. So, if you look at the word analytics, it is, if you look at the simple definition, you can Google it out, or even the dictionary meaning. It says that analytics is the study of analysis. Okay, so in a simple term, whenever you have to define, if suppose you go for an interview and you ask what is analytics or define analytics, okay, you can use this. It is a study of analysis. Okay, that can be the simplest answer which you can give. Now, the use of this, you can say, analytics by businesses, okay, can be traced way back in the 19th century. It is that old. It is not very new. Okay, and it was first, you can say, as per the history, the first person who used it was Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay, if you want, you can note down this name, Frederick Winslow Taylor. Okay, he initiated a concept of time management. Okay, so and that was the first time this word analytics was used in businesses, you can say. So in the late you can say 1960s, analytics began receiving more attention. As you know, the computers became more, you can say, super faster and had a more, you can say, capacity of processing. And they were started the big organizations started using them in decision making support system, that is your DSS. And that's how this uh, the term, or you can say the field of analytics, started gaining more, you can say, attention by the different business organizations. Okay, and with the development of big data, then data warehouses, the cloud system. Okay, you might have heard about the cloud computing. So when we started in 2000s, okay, in those particular area in 2000, you'll find all these big terms like big data, data warehouses, cloud, all this started coming in, and variety of softwares and hardwares also played a very big role in the the growth of analytics. So if I talk about hardware, you might have seen or you might have done some study on it if you are from the IT background. Way back in olden time, one AC room used to be required for the whole hardware, and nowadays you get the storage devices. You might have seen they have become so small that you can carry it in your pockets. So that is the difference between the hardware which was used way back in, you can say, in 1900s somewhere, and in today. Okay, and today if you get look at the size, the of course the size has been reduced, but the capacity of that storage devices has increased a lot. Okay, and that is again a reason why lots of storage of data is happening, and due to the generation or the transactions which are happening across the different platforms which are available, uh, huge data is getting collected. Okay, and data analytics is playing a major role in analyzing such data and helping the businesses all around the world. And during your data analysis or your data analytics, uh, usually includes lots of you can say area of research and discovery and interpretation of patterns within the data. You might have heard various terms in today's, especially in modern form of data analytics, it has now expanded to very small fields nowadays. Okay, like there are fields like, you can say, predictive analytics, you might have heard of, or big data analytics, or cognitive analytics is there. Then we have prescriptive analytics, descriptive analytics, retail analytics, and web analytics, text analytics, or even call analytics. All different types of analytics are now available in this modern era of analytics, you can say. Now, coming back to data analytics, actually, data analytics, as I said, is in the previous lecture also, I said it's based on statistics, more on mathematical formulas, and statistics is very important. And you should, if possible, you should learn the basics of statistics, if possible, and if you want to understand data analytics in depth. Okay, and in olden time also, governments used to, not only in India but worldwide, have used analytics based on, let us census, for variety of planning activities, including, even taxation. For an example, an analysis of your population growth by the country and city could determine the location of the new hospital. That can be some, a decision which can be made based on the analysis of the population of the country and the different cities as well. Okay, so governments have used statistics way back in olden times as well. Now, in US also, in say prior to 1880s, okay, that is before computers were actually there. It took literally 7 years for the US Census Bureau, to process and collect this information and complete their final report in their country. Okay, and that led to, because of this huge number of time, or you can say duration, which was involved in processing such data. Then there was a person called Herman Hollerith. He produced the first tabulating machine. Okay, and which was used in the year 1890 for Sensex, and they were able to, use punching cards. You might have heard about punching cards, which was again a storage type of a device which was used in older period. And using this tabulating machine, they could systematically process the data and record this data on a punching machine, or punch cards, you can say. Okay, and with this device, they were able to, complete their work of Sensex in the year 1890 in only 18 months. Okay, if you talk about 18 months today, of course, it is, a huge number of, you can say, time involved in processing that particular data. But coming from 7 years to in 18 months was a great achievement during that time. Okay, and this is how, the process actually began. And then came in the relational database. The relational database was, invented by Edgar Cord in 1970s. Okay, and it became very popular in the 80s as well. Okay, and it was used to store lots of structured data. Structured data, as we say, the different data types we will learn in R as well. But in those times, we had the different data types which were available: numerical, then alphanumerical data, or even dates, time, all this stuff. Yeah, different type of data. Now, it was called structured because it was properly stored in, based on the, the category or the columns in a tabular format. Okay, and they were used to form different types of tables as well. Usually you'll find that, in relational database, as last time also we discussed about SQL, which is a structured query language, which was used to analyze and fetch data from such databases. Okay, and it was extensively used. during that time. And even today, you'll find that SQL has been used in many cases whenever we want to extract data from our databases, especially the relational databases. We make use of SQL. Okay, and looking at the negative side of the relational database management, it was said to be very rigid and were not designed to translate this unstructured data. Actually, this unstructured data is produced more nowadays because of the huge you say impact of internet and the social websites and lots of transaction happening across the websites as well. Nowadays you'll find that even payments which are happening is happening online. So digital form you'll find lots of transactions happening nowadays, and all this data are not in a structured format. Okay, even as I said, even a search engine, if I have to search something, on the website, you give any words, keywords are used. So all this is also unstructured data. Okay, so RDBMS could not handle the rich, you can say the unstructured data which started coming in due to the invent of internet, because internet became very popular. And with the improvement in the infrastructure and the high bandwidth which is available, and even in today you can see the data is very cheap, cheaply available. Previously it was very expensive. So with cheap internet facilities and improved infrastructure, internet became extremely popular. And you won't find anyone who's not using internet nowadays. Okay, and it became difficult for RDBMS or the relational database to keep a pace with changing technologies as well. Okay, so due to that, what happened? Uh, New concepts or new you can say variety of data types started coming in, and to handle this non-relational databases, uh, a new you can say query language was developed, which was known as NoSQL. Okay, so the first one was SQL, where we actually referred to the structured data, or they were able to access the structured data. And to handle this non-relational database, uh, a new concept was introduced, which was NoSQL. Okay, and with you might have heard the name Larry Page and Sergey Brin. So they designed this Google search engine, and to search different types of websites or specific websites. Now, while processing and analyzing, you know, big data in distributed computers, so search engine came into being, and the main purpose here was to search for different websites first initially, and the you can say the primary point of interest in the systems usually is scalability and automation and high performance as well. So Google's search engine, if you look at them nowadays, in you can say few seconds you get the desired results. So whatever you are searching for, and that's the reason nowadays even Google has become more one of the best search engines, you can say. Now initially you might have the older people might have used Yahoo as well. So Yahoo initially was used as a search engine, but due to the popularity and the faster result orientation of the Google became more popular, and people use Google more compared to the other search engines nowadays. And as I said, the primary point of interest in this case was, especially in the systems, was more about scalability and automation and high performance. That was the main primary objective. Okay. Now, way back in the late 80s, the amount of data which was being collected, it uh, grew very significantly. And uh, due to this, even uh, the growth of this data, was supported, or you can say supported by the low cost of the hard disks which were available, cheaper hard disks, and the size of the, I said, the storage devices also started reducing, and it was cheaper compared to previous. So collection of data increased a lot. Okay, and that's the reason, a new term came into being, that is known as your data warehouse. Okay, so during that time, in the, you can say, 1980s, somewhere there, the architecture of data warehouse was developed, and it was to help this transform the data which was coming from all this operational systems into your DSS, which is your decision making support system. And as it is seen, in if you look at today, the data which is generated is around 64.2 zeta bytes. Uh, that is as on 2020 and not 2021. So 64.2 zeta bytes is the amount of data which is getting generated today, and that is huge amount. If you look at one zeta byte, it is equal to 10 raised to 21. Okay, 10 raised to 21 bytes. That is a huge number. Okay, and uh, data warehouse is you can say is a type of data management system that was or that is designed to enable and support the business intelligence activities nowadays. Okay, initially the purpose was different. Data warehouses came to for from this operational systems for DSS. Okay, that was the initial stage, and it is normally it is a part of your cloud, and a part of, you can say, the mainframe servers. But the use of data warehouse today is more to enable and support the business intelligence activities nowadays, the BI activities, and especially analytics. Okay, and you'll find that data warehouses are, intended to perform queries and analyze, and often contain huge amount of historical data. Okay, so data warehouses are huge, and nowadays, I said, with cloud and mainframe servers, the sizes of your data warehouses has become huge. Huge means you cannot imagine as well, that huge. Okay, so unlike your relational database, your data warehouse is normally optimized for a very quick response time. And that's the reason, when it is very difficult if I give a simple query on my laptop, to search for a particular record. And if I have huge database, then it takes huge, you can say, processing time. So the processing time which is involved on a normal PC, okay, compared to that on supercomputers and so on, is very you'll find that it's very slow, it's time consuming, and that's why you require huge a better processing machines with very fast processing, you can say. And that's the main reason, if we need to access the records faster, a concept of a timestamp was introduced in a data warehouse. So operations such as delete and update are not performed frequently in your data warehouses. Okay, so that the main purpose here is to fetch data, analyze data, and fetching data should happen faster. And that's the reason where the timestamp was introduced here. Now, you might have seen timestamp as one of the columns, especially when we create a Google form, okay, and collect data from different, you can say, customers, or even when we collected data from the students. Usually, you get a column called timestamp where the date and the time when that particular record was generated is stored there as well. Okay, so data warehouse came, and that is how things started growing because of the growing data. And this term called business intelligence, uh, which was okay, is not a very new term for your information. It was a term which was first used in 1865. Okay, it was adopted by a person called Howard Dressner. Okay, Howard Dressner, at Gartner in way back in the year 1989 as well. But the term which was first coined was in way back in 1865. Remember this, and it got the popularity, and it was adopted by this Howard Dresner at Gartner in the year 1989 to describe making better business decisions through searching, through gathering, and analyzing and accumulating data which was saved by the organizations. Okay, and that's how it became more popular. And in today's you can say generation or era, it is one of the most important area of study. And you will find that large companies or big companies, they first started embracing this business intelligence in the form of analyzing the customer data. So the first intention, usually the companies which were analyzing, they were analyzing the customer data first, okay, to make a, you can say, a better decision of fulfilling the needs of the customer, or giving them the products which they are looking for. So that was the first initial you can say use of BI by the companies. Fine. And with the improvement technologies, it has gained huge popularity nowadays. Now, you might have also started with the new subject called data mining. Now, data mining began in 1990s, okay, and it is a process of discovering patterns within large data set. So when you do data mining in depth, you will understand data mining more there. Okay, so it's not, because it's not part of your this subject. Okay, so you will be learning about data mining, but again, as I said, data mining is comparatively new because it is just 30 years old. And analyzing data in a a non-traditional way to provide different types of results, and finding out different patterns, patterns which literally is a surprise to know, and it can help make a better decision, as I said, and it will be beneficial for the organizations. So the use of data mining was about directly from this evaluation of databases and your the data warehouse technologies. Okay, so you can say data mining is you can say evolved due to this databases and your data warehouse. Okay, so that is how this data mining came about. And the new technologies which is coming, which it allows the organizations nowadays to store more data while still analyzing it very quickly, because with the increase of the data, the processing speed also matters. And with new technology, the way the databases are handled and queried had improved the processing as well. Okay, and of course, lots of the powerful processors which are available nowadays are also helping in processing the data as well. Okay, and as a result, you can see the businesses they started predicting the potential needs of their customers, and based on that analysis of the historical data of their purchasing pattern and all, companies were able to sell their products to these customers easily. Okay, that is how this got evolved. Now, then, way back in 2005 came the term big data. Okay, now this was a name which was given by Roger Moglis. Okay, the person who named this data as big data. The term big data came in 2005, and it was introduced by this person, Roger Moglis. And how it came, but because he was, uh, describing a large amount of data which seemed almost impossible to cope with using the tools which were available, the especially the BI tools which are available during that particular time. And that was the main reason why the concept of Hadoop came into being. And it came in the same you can say 2000, I think in the same period, Hadoop was founded, and Hadoop's foundation was, based on another open source software framework, which was called as Nutch. Okay, Nutch. So if you Google this out, you'll find that framework. And Nutch, which was uh, actually emerged, or it is now merged with uh, Google Map Reduce, if you have heard. Now, Google's Map Reduce, if you punch in this name, you'll find the definition there. It is again a framework which is, based on the concept where a series of data elements is processed in a map operations, and they are combined at the end with the reduce operation to produce the finished output. That means, to make it more faster, you can say, it is in the elements are processed in map operations. Now you can again go and search what is map operation and so on. Okay, so you can go into deeper knowledge of how this Hadoop works. Okay, but remember, Hadoop was founded, uh, and it is nothing but a software framework which came from a framework called Nutch, and which was then merged with Google's MapReduce. Okay, that is again a framework. Then you might have heard of the concept of Apache Hadoop. Okay, so Hadoop was further taken over by Apache, and Apache Hadoop is nothing but an open source software. It's again a framework which can process both your structured and your unstructured data. That is the biggest advantage of Hadoop, and it can access, you can say, almost all digital sources as well. So you name any source and it is able to access it, and process the data as well. So during the, you can say, the late 2000s, uh, there were several open you can say, source projects which came about, such as your Apache Spark. You might have heard about the term Spark and Scala. Okay, even that is again I think a subject which is in the third semester, which is an internal subject. If we have not taken it last time, we had taken something else. But Apache Spark is, and you might have also heard, if you have, the term Apache uh, Cassandra. Okay, that is also again open source. Now, to just give you a brief about what Spark and Cassandra is, Apache Spark is a unified, analytic engine, you can say, for specially meant for your big data processing. Okay, with it has inbuilt modules of, for streaming, then for SQL and machine learning, and even graph processing. So it is that you can say strong and very important software. And because it is an open source software, it is freely available. You can always use it, and uh, try to find out how you can do it better. There are small courses again which are available on different websites and different platforms, open source. Even their own website, they give you lots of videos which will help you learn Apache Spark. Okay, and the other one, that is your Apache Cassandra, is again a free and open source, which is it is distributed and you can say wide column store. Okay, no SQL database. It's a no SQL database management. That means you need not write structured query languages or commands to access the data. Okay, and it's able to handle large amount of data across, you can say, commodity servers, and it provides high availability without any, you can say, no single point failure. Then that is the, you can say, the USB of this particular software, which is freely available on the website. So if you're interested in learning all this, though it is not a part of the syllabus here, but those who are interested in learning all this technologies can always Google it out and try to find out some, you can say, platform where it is available. Or even you can read some articles to know more about these different terms. Okay, so this is how you'll find that data evolved, And of course, if you look at the today's era, when we are sitting in 2021 right now, the terms like artificial intelligence, machine learning, all this is gaining huge popularity. Then cognitive analytics, then the various types of analytics which we described at the beginning. So all this is growing very fast, and I don't know in future what will come up, but this is how things are moving. And today we are sitting and we are discussing on this. We are be learning some of the tools, like we'll be learning R. Okay, that's one tool. And for your graphical interfaces, or the you can say the dashboards or things which we'll be creating, we'll be doing through Tableau as well. Okay, so I think that's all for today. We will stop here. That is how the just a journey of, you can say, the evolution of analytics uh, till today has happened. Okay, so when we come next, we will discuss on more terms like what is business intelligence, and what's the difference between business intelligence and might be data science. And then we'll also look at the different main types of analytics also, and we'll describe each of them with some points, like descriptive analytics, then what is diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and so on. Okay, so we'll come to that topic in the next session. If you have any doubts or anything which you want me to clear, you can let me know. You can put it in the chat as well. And before this meeting gets over, I think there's around 1 minute left for this meeting to get over. You can punch in your name and your seat numbers in the chat so that I keep a record of your attendance. Okay. Anyone has any question or anything, any point you want me to discuss when we meet next, you can tell me so that we can discuss that point as well. Anyone? Okay, how many of you have installed Tableau? Any problem in installing Tableau? Okay, great. So when we meet
So
for,
I have
yes,
installed it, but sir, Nagesh called me yesterday. He asked for
hmm,
the application asked for the ID for college.
ID. Okay, how many of you don't have ID?
So we have ID, but it is saying that it is little blur, no? So they are
Okay,
like
okay.
it is not verifying it.
Okay, okay, no problem. I have requested for a bulk license if I get the bulk license, because I've already got the tutor's license right now. For bulk license, I've already applied. So once I get it, I'll share it with you all. Okay, no issues of